Hello, my name is Chris Campos, and I just want to share this day with you the Jesus that I have met. I met Jesus Christ in the Garden of Gethsemane. I saw him, one who would be willing to give his life for me. The Bible describes him just coming to his Father those 3 times on his knees, saying, "Father, if it be possible, take this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but thy will be done." And that spoke to me, seeing one who would be willing to literally drink the wrath that belongs to me, seeing someone who would be willing to say, if there's no other way that Chris can be saved, except that I give my life for him, even if he chooses not to accept me as his Lord and Savior, I will still give my life for him. And that has impacted me, I think, more than anything else. The Jesus that I have seen in the Garden of Gethsemane has been the Jesus that changed my life. I used to be a very legalistic person. I used to walk around like this all day, my eyes furrowed because I was always worrying about my personal salvation, didn't know Jesus as a loving Savior. I wanted to serve him. I had already seen him in my life deliver me from the power of marijuana and sexual impurity. I had seen him work a powerful miracle in my life, and yet and still I did not know him as my living and loving Savior, and I met him in that garden. And as I continued to follow that Jesus to Calvary, I saw one who the Lord had laid on him the iniquity of us all. I saw one who literally suffered everything that I should suffer that I might live. And that's the Jesus that I want to commend to you today. I want to invite you, like John tells us in John chapter 3, verse 14 through 16, "And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life." I want to invite you today to look at that Jesus. I invite you to lay your burden of sin on him. There is no reason why we have to walk around with a burden of sin when Jesus Christ has literally carried all of our sorrows. There's no reason why we have to walk around with guilt. There's no reason why we have to hold on to sin. There's no reason why we have to be slaves to sin when the Bible tells us that I am crucified with Christ. Nevertheless, I live, yet not I, but Christ lives in me. The life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. So when Jesus has died for us, there's no need for us to be slaves to sin any longer. He has literally broken the power of sin in our lives. There's no reason why we need to fear the future anymore. The Bible tells us that he was made a little bit lower than the angels for the suffering of death. The Bible tells us that he has tasted death for every man. So whatever fears, whatever guilt, whatever burdens you are carrying, the Jesus that the Bible presents as Lord and Savior, the one who has died for us, the one who has suffered for us, the one who has given himself for us, that is the Jesus that I invite you to take a look at today. That's the Jesus that I invite you to sit down with and ask him, was it for me that you died? And I guarantee you that the same answer that he gave me, yes, it was for you. I guarantee you that that Jesus will speak to you and say, it was for you, my child. It was for you. If there was nobody else for whom I had come to die for, it was for you. And that's the Jesus that I want to invite you to look at today.